Hi! I have a really cute card for you today, and I'm going to have to talk really loud because it's 47 degrees outside, and there's no grass, and the people next door have somebody working in their yard, so it sounds like they've got a leaf blower going now. I don't know, it's really loud. I don't know what they're doing because literally there is nothing growing outside yet, so I don't know what they're doing, but it's noisy, and so I'm going to talk loud. But I'm going to show you, I have 2 cards so far, and there will be one more in this series because I haven't used the one of the stamps yet. But I'm going to use the Sweet Baby Bundle, and I'm not going to talk a lot about it because there's 2 videos, and I've already recorded the other one, and this one's going to go up first. So you'll have to watch the other one to learn a little bit more about the set and about how I use it. I'm going to do the boy card. I did the other one first because I just finished a Facebook Live today, and it was the one I did on Facebook Live, so this stuff was already out. I'm also going to use the Buffalo Check. Bet you didn't think when you saw Buffalo Check baby card, did you? But on the girl card, I'll show you it. And the video for it will post soon after this. Give me a day or 2, because I don't like to post too many videos. Like, I like to go every other day. I like to do 3 a week. For those of you that subscribe. If you don't subscribe to my channel, I would love for you to. And if you hit the little bell down on YouTube, then they send you an email when I upload. But I try to do like 3 a week is what I try to do. So that's the girl card. And on her, I used the gingham. But the colors, like for what I wanted to do for the boy card, I wanted to use the little teddy bear. And I didn't want it to be pastel-y. So that's the girl card. Let me aim you down. And we'll get going on the boy card with the Buffalo Check. I love the Buffalo Check. And you know, it's a carryover from the holiday catalog. So I know it's not in the occasions and it's not in the annual. This card is in the annual catalog, or the stamp bundle is in the annual catalog. But you can still get the Buffalo Check. You can just go either on my website or if you have the holiday catalog, my camera's crooked. You can still just write that in. So I'm going to do my stamping first and let that dry because I'm going to color with the blends. So I have some interesting color combinations. Again, maybe not what you would think of when you think baby card. So I've got soft suede, and I chose that because of the bear. And then Poppy Parade, because there's a reason with the Poppy Parade. Often I would go with real red. But in the Painted Seasons bundle that we've been using, Poppy was the color that was in it. And I just like Poppy. It's not real red. It's got a little bit more of a bright tone to it. So for this card, that was what I went with. And I forgot how much I loved it, but I've been using it a lot because of the Painted Seasons bundle recently. So I just thought, oh, I'll try Poppy, and I did like it with this. Plus it made it gives it a baby lumberjack feel, I think. Because I was going kind of for the baby lumberjack. So here's my little baby. And it can be the girl baby or the boy baby. Because you know babies are babies. And then it has this little bear cap. And these are going to get cut out with the Big Shot. So stamp these on white. And then for my background, I'm going to go for vanilla. So the baby's on white, background is vanilla. Oh, and I do need another piece of Poppy. I just realized I don't have all the Poppy over here. It's a sad day when you don't have enough Poppy, so I'm gonna have to hop up and go over to my paper cutter real quick and get it. Thought I had everything I needed, and then this is my little background piece. So for my background on the girl card, I just used the bows. I have ink all over me. For this, I'm gonna use the little onesie. These are not cling stamps, so I don't have my stickers on because I stuck the stickers on and they immediately fell off. So I'm going to create my own little background from these tiny stamps. So I'm going to go up here, the top, because I know all that's going to be seen, and that's where I want to start with. And the rest of this I'm just going to kind of fill in with this little onesie. They don't have to be perfect, but you want them to kind of be staggered. So they're kind of everywhere. And then the baby's going to be right in the middle. And I know that because I've already made the card. So I'm not terribly worried like how those fill out, but you do want to fill up the whole panel of your card. So it looks pretty good. And then there's a bunch of tiny little pieces in this. There's this little safety pin. Again, there's no stickers, but I'm just going to fill some of the little gaps with the safety pin. This die set comes with a little scalloped edge that kind of looks like an eyelet edge. So I am going to lose the bottom of my card, but it's easier to color before you lose scallops. So I'm going to color it now and then cut it, because that's what you would do if you had designer series paper. It would be colored and you would cut it. So that's good. And then it has a little thing that says Mama's Boy. So he's going to have his first little t-shirt. Stamp this on his onesie. Again, you're kind of going for a graphic arts designer series paper look for your background. It doesn't have to be perfect. There you go. So there's that. We'll let that dry a second while I run over and I just need a scrap piece of Poppy because I need to have his baby blanket out of Poppy. Thankfully, this is, you know, some days I wish I had a giant studio, but when you forget stuff and you have to go get it, then I'm grateful it's not too far away. Close that up. Okay, now for the buffalo check. Are these the same size? No, so I need to remember what size I'm doing for what. Let these dry. You know, when I use my background stamps, if you've watched me before, and I have lots of buffalo check videos because I love the buffalo check, I just use it inside my case. I just keep this piece of scrap paper. It's been in here about since I got my buffalo check. I do have, what's one of the new ones? The Crackle Paint, and it's a cling mount stamp. And I know in the video I talked about whether or not I was going to stick the sticker on, and then when I went to use this one, I realized, yeah, I never stuck the sticker on this one either. It's just as it is, the way it came. So I kind of answered my question about the cling mount because I just use them like this. There's really no need to mount them on anything because they're giant. I had ink all over my hands for my Facebook Live. And then I was going to go clean them off before this, and then I thought, you know what, I'm working with a background stamp. They're just going to get dirty again, so why bother? So this is how I do it. You just put it in here. You want to make sure this is kind of straight for this stamp. A lot of the backgrounds, it doesn't matter, but because this has lines on it, it's a little bit more obvious if you don't get it. Then this, again, same piece of paper I've been using since I had the background. Just lay it over the top, except I missed it. I do have ink on my hands already. And then just press everywhere. Now, there are a couple of videos where I have used my Stamparatus, because if you want a bold, solid color image, it's going to take a couple of inkings. I don't mind. I like it to look like it's flannel. And you know, if you've got this print on material, it's not going to be perfect. And look, I just got it all over me. Then take your pick tool and just lift it up. And there you have. And I am also using basic gray because basic gray on the Poppy is going for my my baby buffalo check, my baby hipster card. So this is going to be the baby blanket. And that's what I want my baby blanket to be out of buffalo check. Because I do know that they have these. I have been to Target and I have been to Home Goods, and I know that you can buy little baby blankies out of buffalo check. So this time I don't need to ink as much because obviously this piece is not as big. So eventually your case does get dirty. You just take a wet wipe or take it to your sink and just wipe it off. But there's really no need to mess with a block and taking it on and off of a block and all that, because it's here. It's in the case. It's all here. You always have a little piece of scrap paper. Press that on there. got our baby blankie, or what will become our baby blankie. And then I do just, you can put that on your chamois, and if I did, I would press another piece of whole cardstock on there because it has some extra ink because I didn't run it through. So here's my soft suede. And then let's color these guys before we run them through the Big Shot. So to color my little guy, I used light petal pink. I've mixed my markers up now, and ivory. Light petal pink can be a tad orange if you go too much, so just use your brush tip and barely brush your color through there. And then you're also going to get it through his hair, although most of his hair is going to get covered up by his hat. Because you don't want him to have too much color, because he's a baby. And you know, babies also don't have very much hair. So for what little hair that's going to show outside of the little hat, just add some of the ivory, which is normally our skin color. But look how dark that is. It's just, to me, it's too dark for a baby. And then my daughter got hand-me-downs from her nephew, or her cousin, when she was a baby, and she had this exact onesie. It had a little white collar, so I'm not going to color the collar, and it was poppy red. It was exactly this, exactly this. I should find the picture, she would kill me, and put it on the website when I post this picture. Most of this is going to end up being inside the blanket, but because it's so cute and it's so quick to color, I'm going to go ahead and color it. And I'm going to be careful to try to not color and try to not let it bleed over the buttons. But again, these bottom ones are going to end up getting inside the blanket. This is the light poppy. So you can see his hands. But it was the tiniest of the outfits that my daughter had. Because, you know, when she was born, we lived in Australia. We had come over here for Thanksgiving when I was pregnant. And that was when we told our families that we were having a baby. And so my nephew had, he's a year and a bit older than her. So my sister had some baby clothes that he had already grown out of. So she gave me a couple of the tiny baby things that he was no longer wearing. And of course we didn't know if we were going to have a boy or a girl. And you know, back then it was still, when you saw your ultrasound, it was taking the doctors and believing them that it was really even a baby, because you couldn't really tell. But she gave me this one tiny little outfit, and she said, oh, you won't need very many tiny little things because they only wear them for like a week. Because my niece and my nephew were a lot bigger than my daughter. But then my daughter was tiny, 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 and we had no tiny clothes, but we had this tiny little red suit. So she wore it for a long time, and she was born in July, which is winter in Australia. So that worked because it was cold, but it did look kind of like a little Santa suit. But she wore it for a long time. So this kind of has some fond memories for me when I look at it. So there's our little boy colored in. And then the tops of our, that was part of the reason I put the diaper pens on here, just so I could color the tops. Does anybody use diaper pens anymore? I don't know. But when I was little, I have a sister that's 10 years younger than me. She had diaper pens. And they had all different colors of tops. I'm pretty sure they weren't red. I'm pretty sure they were all the pastel colors that I put on the little girl card with my baby bows. But for artistic purposes, we have some red diaper pens. Okay, and then we're going to color. Not a whole lot of coloring on this card because there's not a whole lot of color to it. I'm going to do, this is, I think, crumb cake. Yep, like crumb cake. And soft suede. Which, if you watch my, I've not been terribly, it's not creative. It's just that they all happen to be laying on the table. But if you watch in a couple of days, I'm going to post a Fable Friends little rabbit treat cup that I also did do on my Facebook Live. So if you don't want to wait, you can go over to my Facebook and watch the live there. But these are all the same colors, so I just kept using the same colors. These are what I colored the bunny with. So the bunny is the same color as, I'm gonna go back to the petal pink. Do him there. I just keep repeating colors. And it's not like my blends are far away, because they're literally not. They're right. I have my blend tower that my husband built me. People are always looking for blend storage, and my husband made me a beautiful tower. So they're all right here, but it was just easier because they were sitting on the table. So here's this little hat, and we do have a big shot thing that will cut this out. So here's the baby in the little hat. Super, super cute. And then we just need to add this. Just looks kind of blah. Take a nice close look at it, because I want you to see the blah that's the blah. And then I'm going to take the light crumb cake and just all here where it's got, like, as fast as I can, like super fast so it doesn't grab a lot of color, just on the outlines of the little onesies, just draw a line of color. You don't want to hold your pen there, because the longer you hold the blend down, the more color that absorbs into the paper. And I just want a highlight of color, because this is on the vanilla. Like, I wish that we had a vanilla blend. You know? Dark vanilla. Because vanilla is a color, because this is not white. But we don't. So this is the look I'm going for. And it's just going to give some definition to the onesies. And then you'll be able to see this again if you go watch the bow video, because it's a little bit of a different look on the white paper, so you'll want to see it both. But this, I don't like when my stuff just is flat on the paper. So take your, I'm going to have to turn it my direction so I can see better. Take your light smoky slate, blend, and use the brush tip, and just kind of give it some definition. It's going to give it a little bit of shadow, and you don't want it to be all the same. And some of them are going to be underneath the baby. So now it looks like this. So already it's got more definition where you can see them better from when it was just blah. No more blah, because we don't want blah. And you know, people save baby cards. So now I've got my color lifter, and I'm going to make the edges of the smoky slate kind of disappear into the paper, which on the vanilla, you can see how wet the color lifter is. If you watch the video where I do the girl card, you can't see, it doesn't do this. Like, it won't look like this first on the white paper. But the color lifter has a lot, like, it's wet. But you don't notice it on the white one. So you'll want to watch it just because of the difference of the two kinds of cardstock. But when this dries, that will go away. Like, it won't be there once it's dry. And it just gives a much nicer, more artistic, finished look to your projects. And it doesn't take long. And if you bought the color lifter and you don't ever use it, you'll be like, oh, now I know something to do with my color lifter. There we go. And I'll have still photos on my website so you can see. But see the difference that makes now? Those are like, because these are still the vanilla and there's color around it, they more pop off the paper. So we're almost finished. Let's get the big shot up here and cut this stuff out. Do the baby blankie first, and I want, it's gonna fold up, So I want it to go this way because the folds are going to press in that way. The first time I did it, oops, I stamped both sides of the paper because I wasn't sure, and you could, if you want, stamp both sides of the paper. That way the piece that you can see on the inside of the card also has some buffalo check, but most of it gets covered up. But you can see here how it scores the paper, and that side it's not scored, so these just fold over. Like that, and then you have a little baby blankie. And so if you do it on both sides, then this here has buffalo check, but the baby's head's gonna be right there, so most of it gets covered up. So in the interest of time, I'm not gonna do it on this card, but you could. And then we'll just run these through, and they just pop these out. You know, some of the dies sometimes have the little sticky stuff on them. And when people have a hard time placing them, sometimes that's what it is, and you can go clean them off. I could take these over and clean them, because the little bear one is one of the ones that was stuck. You know how when you get them, they have that sticky strip that holds them all in place? And then when that's on the die and you go to touch it, every time you try to move your finger off of them, they stick to your finger. So sometimes that's why you have a problem keeping them where they need to be. Isn't that so cute? Trash out of here. And then the last piece is this little scallop. And this is one where you want to not do, it can't go through like a speed bump. So you need to lay it this direction, because it's not good for your die. It can snap the die, and it's not good for your big shot as well. So this way it takes the pressure evenly as it goes through. If you send it through all at once, you can snap the die. Ugh. I'm going to turn it this way so it's close to me. My sleeves are not helping the situation. I have on a beautiful shirt, Urban Hippies in broad ripple, but it's got kind of some saggy sleeves for stamping. That's better. And it just takes one pass through. And then you get the adorable little scalloped edge. And you just need to stick it together. And this is going to go on top of here. Stick your little, I guess we need to put his hat on. If, when you do this, you have too much of a white line right here, you can trim that with your scissors, because you don't want to have a giant gaping white line. This time my white line ended up more at the top. So just decide whether or not you want to trim a little bit of that off. On my other one I had to. This one's pretty good. Kind of get it down close to his ears. And then he goes inside the baby blanket. That's upside down. Just like that. And I think he's supposed to go pretty far down, but I like to see him. Oh, I have some copper thread that has come unraveled and it keeps getting in all of my projects. So stick him like there. Before you press him, make sure that he's where you want him. And then I don't want to seal that because I want it to kind of gape open, because then you can kind of see down on the card. So he's going to go here. And then I'm going to take some vanilla tulle ribbon. And not a lot because it's a boy card, so I don't want to go overboard on the ribbon. And you know, I can go overboard on my tulle. It doesn't take much. But if you watch my other video, I am out. So until I get a shipment in, I can't use it. I used up the last of my white on the girl card. So just hold that in place. The thing I like about the tulle is, even though it's wrapped around the card here, on the girl one I did twice because she's obviously got more ribbon, but you can still see through. But this is just enough to hold it closed. And then I'm going to do one bow here, maybe. Ugh, it's all stuck on itself. Pull it this way. Normally I don't have troubles with these, but it got stuck inside that little scallop of the card. But hold that thing closed because I don't want it to, I don't want the blanket to be closed. There we go, I got it that time. So hold it down with your finger so it doesn't get stuck in the tulle of it. There we go. Now it's not stuck in it. So I'm going to do one bow here. Just kind of small because it's a boy card. And then pull it back through again. And do another loop. That way it'll keep it shut, and it kind of keeps the bow up on top. Because then that way it still has this open. It's open but closed. So you can kind of see inside you can see inside and see your little baby, but it holds it shut. And then just stick this on the top. And you have your little hipster baby, little lumberjack wannabe. How sweet is that? Here's one that's had some time to settle once the ribbon gets flattened down, because I've taken this to a girlfriend's house, so it was also packed in my bag. Then it kind of doesn't have as much. But is he not the sweetest little thing you ever did see? And here's the girl version. So, and in this set does come with this piece here. I didn't use the baby bottle. It has Daddy's girl. It has it's a girl, it's a boy. And then it has a saying that says, cute and cuddly, soft and sweet, someone to make your life complete. So, I mean, it's got, if you want to do announcements or if you want to do it as a congratulations. But I am going to do something with this piece here. And it also has a big shot that cuts the little bouncy baby out. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope you can do in your mind some combinations of sets like the buffalo check with a baby set that are just kind of not your normal thing that everybody might think about. So have a great day. Bye.